I just got done from watching Marvel's latest movie, The Marvels, and here is my honest review. Spoilers ahead. The film starts with our villain, Dar-Benn, finding the other bangle that Miss Marvel wears. We then cut to the ending of what Miss Marvel was between the switch of Kamala and Captain Marvel sweeping. From that, we then go to earlier in the day when Captain Marvel got the call from Nick Fury to come and help out with jump points not closing. And here we get to see Monica Rambeau, who's also using her powers to try to shut down this jump point. Coincidentally, both Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau both touch a part of the jump point, which results in them switching their powers as well as Kamala Khan. We then get, which is a really cool scene of the switching between both Kamala, Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel all switching, which I thought was actually pretty cool, the way it was all done, from having Kamala be at her house to Captain Marvel be at the Kree lookout to Monica being on the ship with Nick Fury, and they were all switching. I was like, this is kind of cool. Eventually, all three of them come together and they realize that their powers are entangled. Honestly, you do get lost in this plot because it's pretty simple, yet at the same time, you're confused. I guess the mechanic of the film is the switching part of it, and the overall plot of the film is they have to team up to stop the baddie. Dar-Benn goes to the planet full of Skrulls, and here is where she opens up another jump point, which results in a lot of the Skrulls dying. But Captain Marvel, Monica, and Kamala Khan all manage to save some of them. And here we get our first cameo, Valkyrie, in which Captain Marvel calls on Valkyrie to come and helps find a home for the remaining Skrulls. Now from here, we get into possibly what is my favourite part of the film, in which there's like a montage of the three trying to, I guess, figure out how they can use their switching to an advantage, which I thought was done really well. And it was cool just to see them all work together, which I thought, honestly, the chemistry, amazing with all three of these actors. While this is happening, we get our little subplot of Goose the cat, who seemed to be, lurking around on Nick Fury's ship, and you don't know at the time, but there are eggs all being left around, and they're kind of confused as to what these eggs are. While this is happening, this ship is also struggling, which kind of lost me. I was like, what is this doing to the story? We then get taken to a really weird planet in which the only way to communicate with the people on this planet is through singing. And I was like, what am I watching right now? This does not feel like Marvel, because we had Captain Marvel dancing with the prince, and she was so-called the princess, and she was singing to communicate. And I was like, this is just shit. Then all of a sudden, Dar-Benn comes back with the rest of the Kree army and they attack. Here she opens another jump point and realizes that Kamala also has the other bangle in which she needs to become really powerful. After the little showdown, it ends. Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Kamala Khan all end up in some other area, and then they fly to go see Nick Fury. I'm like, yeah, right. Here we realize that there's not enough escape pods for the rest of the crew on the ship, and we finally find out what was in those eggs. Turns out Goose was actually having kittens, and these kittens end up eating the crew, and I guess it's easier to transfer the kittens from the ship to little ships. I was like, what the hell is this? It was a cool scene, don't get me wrong, but it just didn't fit into this movie. I was like, what is it trying to do? After that, Monica then finds out where Dar-Benn is heading next, which is the sun. So the team gets together and they go find her. A little bit of a showdown happens with Dar-Benn getting trapped under some rocks and pleading Captain Marvel to kind of help her out to, let her go. So she does, and she is tricked. She holds Kamala hostage and steals her other bangle. And then here, I'm like, what just happened? So basically, with the power of the two bangles, Dar-Benn flies out towards the sun. Captain Marvel chases after her, and here we get like a bit of a cosmic power explosion in which Dar-Benn explodes and tears a space-time window, which then ultimately leads to another part of the reality starting to bleed into the main Earth 616 reality. Now, I was like, okay, cool, we're getting a bit of this, but why are we getting it in the last 10 minutes of the fucking film? Eventually, Captain Marvel and Kamala give enough power to Monica Rambeau to close the reality portal from behind in the other side. So Monica ultimately sacrifices herself, and yeah, that's really it. We then get to see a bit of aftermath of Captain Marvel, giving the sun back to Hala, which was the whole point of the motive of the villain. I was like, okay, that's fucking shit. We then also see Kamala Khan and her family moving into what was Maria and Monica's old house from the first Captain Marvel film. It then ends with Miss Marvel recruiting Kate Bishop to start the Young Avengers. We then get one post-credit scene in this film, which is Monica Rambeau waking up in this like white hospital, I guess you could say. And next to her is Maria Rambeau, who is her mum. And we also get to see the Beast from the X-Men movies, which is kind of cool. Ultimately leading us into the fact that we are in a different reality, or at least Monica is in a different reality. And that's it. That is the film. Now, the acting in this film is sadly nothing special. Captain Marvel, played by Brie Larson, she does a good job, nothing out of the blue. Same goes with Monica Rambeau, played by Tyon Paris. She does a good job too, Once again, nothing special. I would, however, say Miss Marvel, played by Iman Vellani, done a fantastic job. Like, she was well in Miss Marvel. She done a fantastic job there, but here she munged the cake, and she was the standout in this film, in my opinion. So The Marvels is actually Marvel's shortest film ever, coming in at 1 hour and 45 minutes. Now, you would figure with that time frame, they'd be able to have a nice, tight, action-packed film, leaving no room for unwanted or unneeded story, still making the film feel boring at times. Now, don't get me wrong, there were a few scenes I actually enjoyed, such as the first time of them switching powers, and I guess the montage scene of them using their powers to figure out them switching. I thought those scenes worked well. But then we get scenes like the cats eating the crew, which just did not fit in here, and just, I don't know, it was kind of lame. And we got 3 or 4 different showdowns with like the Marvels team and Dar-Benn, which just did not interest me at all. Overall, I think this film lacked in its pacing, and it just didn't keep me entertained at times. All in all, the Marvels movie is nothing but a setup film, with no really important movement going forward in the MCU. Which sucks, because the latest trailers of this film really set up how this film was going to change the MCU forever. Which, honestly, nothing really exciting happened until, I guess you could say, the end, setting up Young Avengers and, I guess, the X-Men. But we already knew that was going to happen. To make matters worse, if you haven't seen the Disney Plus shows such as WandaVision, Miss Marvel, or even Hawkeye, you have no idea who these characters are. And as a casual fan who just likes to watch a movie every now and then, you're going to be left confused as to why Monica has powers, who this Miss Marvel character is, and who Kate Bishop is at the very end of the film. The film loses me at times in the story, and the villain really has no true motive, making me not care at all about what is happening in this film. All in all, I give this movie a 4 out of 10. I recommend you wait to see this movie on Disney Plus, as you aren't really missing out on anything truly important moving forward. And it sucks, because this film was really going to be the make or break if Marvel were truly in shambles, and sadly, after this film, let's just hope that our next one can bounce back.